Roisin here. I work with Kundalini Yoga and sacred sexuality to combine spirituality and sexuality in the heart, to empower women with a life that is pleasurable and brings fulfillment and abundance. Today I wanted to talk to you about the journey with the inner masculine. So this is a sort of word that you may be familiar with the energies of the masculine, the yang, the doing, the action, the sun. But on a personal level, how this can manifest, I want to share my own story in a way to support you to perhaps understand yours. So this is a journey, it's a relationship, the inner masculine and feminine. The relationship is the most important relationship you'll ever have. And it also actually just reflects all the relationships that are external anyway. So, probably about 7 years ago now, I had I joined a Tantra festival with ISTA, the International School of Temple Arts, which is a school that I journeyed with for many years and still do, I'm associated with. And I did this exercise whereby we met our inner masculine and feminine. And I include this exercise now in many of my play shops, but especially as the foundation of my level 1 signature course, Sovereign Being. So when you meet your inner masculine and feminine, we're not going to do this now, but perhaps I'll do another video with just this so people can get connected with it. Or send me a message and I will send you that ritual because it's super exciting and it's fun. You meet these characters within you. So when I first did this, and you know, it's like letting your subconscious speak, it's whatever wants to come through. My feminine was like an old pirate queen, and she was angry. She was at sea and she wanted her land back. And my masculine was like this 60-year-old set in his ways, kind of family businessman, rum drinker on his island, and he was like, this is my land and my business and I'm in charge and I got things under manners. And they just weren't working together. And now immediately it was clear to me, you know, like I was not embodied. She wanted her land back because the masculine was abusing me. I wasn't honoring myself. I was like in my masculine, doing my thing and striving, getting shit done, but not in a way that was ever going to be fulfilling. And this is reflective of so much of the world today, you know, the abuse of Mother Earth, the mental health that is, so much on the decline, and just the difficulties that so many of Western society faces because the masculine is so much at the fore, and we've lost sight of our connection with the feminine, with the ability to feel and be embodied and really receive. So from that first meeting, I was like, whoa. But it was fun to then sort of like go, wow, okay, understand these characters. And over time, like I said, I've been on this journey for 7 years, and it's the journey with me, so it's going to continue unraveling, and the wisdom's going to keep coming through because it's a continuous journey, it's life. But from these characters, I then had an opportunity to get to know them and to sort of feel into what they needed to feel supported, to support each other, to support me. And so as I did this more, I started to realize, and as you'll journey with your own, if you do, these characters change and shape shift, especially the feminine. So what I learned actually is that whilst my feminine seemed like a fierce pirate queen, actually the masculine was leading. And when I dropped into the clarity of her, actually my feminine was really shy and afraid. And although my masculine seemed to be controlling of the land, actually it was like a protective way of being. And so my feminine actually was very light, very good girl, and shy. Kind of really wanted to be seen and acknowledged, but didn't know how to receive in her femininity. And so it was my masculine, as I learned, that it was my masculine that liked to wear like thick eyeliner and kind of wear the rock girl outfits to get the attention, but in my masculine. And so as I started to understand these characters deeper, names started to come through. So my masculine, in those days, I understood it as Django, which is a gypsy word meaning freedom. And he was very flamboyant and liked the colours and was very gregarious. Was a bit of a sort of cheeky, charismatic chappy. Always on the go, like that kind of gypsy spirit. And my feminine, Anya, which is Queen of the Fairies, was light and ethereal and quite shamanic, in tune with nature and poetry and very sensitive. So as I kind of journeyed with these two characters, kind of wrangled with them a little bit inside myself, I really started to notice how they were reflected externally. So I started to realize that the men that I was attracted to and attracting were unavailable. They were these sort of gypsy types that didn't want to be kind of committed, didn't want to sort of stay put. And this I realised was very reflective of me and my masculine that was constantly sort of jumping around. But my masculine in tune with my feminine because I wasn't embodied. I was like away with the fairies, Anya, the fairy queen, very ethereal and had a lot of wisdom there, but hadn't integrated it, wasn't in her power. And so I kind of realised that I had to mature my masculine. And I kind of got in touch with his needs. Yes, he liked adventure, but if I gave him some time, what did he want? And I realised actually my masculine wanted time off. We were very good at sort of work hard, play hard, and being charismatic in work and play. But he just wanted to kind of like just be on the road and enjoy life, like not have to strive and look after her and look after everything. And as I gave him time off, as I allowed me to relax, she was able to receive more, and I had the energy, my masculine had the energy to be present for what she needed, for what she was feeling. And then as she was given more space and time, she actually came through more, like, as I spent more time with myself, by giving him more time and her more time, I started to be more present for myself, started to feel more, started to go deeper into those feelings that I was probably running away from. And so this has been a process. I mean, I'm talking like 7 years, and it will be ongoing. But just to give you a little sort of insight. And the more I stayed with myself and stayed present with myself, my masculine started to shift. Actually, he was more present for me, for my feminine, than he was for trying to gain validation externally. It became more about our union rather than what we could sort of grasp from outside. So that sort of thriving abundance from within, that overflowing, started to take shape. And rather than kind of looking outside, being the sort of like eyeliner and flamboyant kind of character that is still there and I enjoy. He just became more present to me, and as that happened, his image shifted in my mind. So I check in with my masculine and feminine on daily. Like I'll kind of tune in with a mantra, tune in with my body, my mind, my spirit, what's going on. And then I tune in with my masculine, my right side of the body. How does that feel? How is he? At the time he was called Django. What does he need? Okay. And also with my feminine, what does she need? How does she feel? How can they work together? So really it's like constantly checking in with this relationship internally. And the more I did that, the more I gave them space to mature, the more I kind of reparented myself. He shifted. So I started to see this vision of more like a present, devoted warrior. And I saw this vision of him standing, like looking out to sea, like kind of poised, ready on a mountain. And further, like this presence, I started to see that. And I saw it reflected also in the men I was attracting externally. And then as that started to shift more and more, and she came more online, I eventually started to look through his eyes. Rather than it being a vision I was seeing externally, I started to see it through my being. So really I started to embody my own masculine, not use the energy to seek external validation or to strive to get something externally, but actually to be really present for myself. And as he really became integrated and matured, the vision of looking through him, actually he was then devoted to her. And so the intuition and the guidance that she, the feminine, I receive, how life wants to make love through me, he was then ready to act on that. And so this shift from him kind of abusing her, protecting her, me being very much more in my masculine, then became more embodied and integrated, so that my feminine was leading. I was leading from a place of feeling and intuition and deep sort of inner listening. Then he would act from her wishes, from that place of feeling, in devotion, in service to her. And then my masculine's name, actually a word that came to me, it just kept repeating in my mind, and I looked it up eventually. It's a Celtic word, Awen, meaning inspiration. And so he is waiting for her inspiration. Her name remains Anya, Queen of the Fairies, but she shapeshifts also. And so I've had Breda come through, Bridget, another. These are all kind of Celtic aspects. And yeah, my feminine is more of a shapeshifter. Can be ethereal, can be very embodied, can be sort of animal, but always really that feeling and that inspiration moves through, and then he acts from that place. So that's been like my kind of journey with these characters of the masculine and feminine with me. And of course there has been much practice and learning that has gone alongside this understanding to support this maturation. But really the take-homes that have come from uniting my inner masculine and feminine, and really they feel like they're working together, and actually it feels like he is in service to her. The key here is self-worth, because I value what I feel. I honor what I feel, and I deeply respect it, and act from that place of honor and respect. But also like an abundance, because I'm not willing to settle for anything less. And it's an abundance that's more than financial gain. Actually, it's like a juiciness. It's a fulfillment. In every aspect of my life. In my work, that deep listening comes through. What wants to move through me, rather than a sort of striving and this is what I should be doing, or it's like I could, but what is the truth of me? So there's a greater level of authenticity in my offerings, in my friendships, my relationships, and all this adds to the abundance of my life. The greater the embodiment, and the deeper my embodiment practice has gone, is testament to how present my masculine can be to support me also. And so the fulfillment and the abundance of my sexuality works in accordance with that. I realise I've shared a lot there, and it's a magical journey that can only continue to blossom the more attention and love we give it. And I really encourage this journey in everybody, because ultimately I feel like real equality can start from within each of us. Because when we're out of balance, we're grasping, we're looking externally for fulfillment, which means we're disempowered. Ultimately, we're not in our own sovereign power and sharing power. We're trying to grasp it from outside. When we unite our inner masculine and feminine, and that abundance starts to overflow from within, then we have more to share, and we can support each other more. So this is my sacred activism. I'm so passionate about it. And I have many teachings to support you on your journey with it. Please, get in touch. Let me know how you found these stories. I'd love to hear about your journey with your own inner masculine and feminine. And maybe see you sometime. Much love. Hi.